Cupra Terramar joins the brand's Formentor model in the mid-sized SUV class. It probably has a broader appeal than any previous combustion-powered Cupra model and aims to offer something a little sportier and more interesting than the VW Group crossovers it's based upon.
We're talking a tale of two Terramars here. To be frank, there's not very much fun or driving enjoyment to be had from a front-driven 1.5 litre version of this Cupra. It comes in various flavours in that format, a base 150 PS ETSI mild hybrid version or a PHEV with either 204 PS or 272 PS. The plug-in hybrid model outputs sound promising, but in this form the car has to lug along a porky 1.9-ton curb weight, so inevitably performance never really feels that sprightly. Still, there's up to 74 miles of EV range from the 25.8 kilowatt-hour battery, though it is more like 50 miles in the real world. Now, we did say there were two kinds of Terramars. We are trying the other sort, much more enjoyable as well. With this, you're offered a 2-litre TSI unit mated to a 7-speed paddle shift DSG auto transmission, an engine that can drive all four wheels and which is available in either 204 PS or, as in this case, a perky 265 PS, guys. If you care about driving enjoyment at all, and we fully acknowledge that many potential Terramar customers won't do that, then this is certainly the version of this car to have. Just over 1.7 tonnes of curb weight feels about right for a compact SUV of this kind, and this Cupra wears it very well, agile and relatively sharp of steering with a progressive rack which delivers reasonable feedback. Plus, of course, there's loads of traction through the turns. Cupra says the Terramar design isn't as disruptive as that of the slightly larger Tavascan, but you'll still probably think it looks quite sporty, certainly more so than the cloned VW Group models it borrows its engineering from, most notably the Audi Q3 that shares its Hungarian production line. In the metal, it's a bit bigger than it looks in pictures. There's 4,519 millimeters of body length, so it's slightly larger than the old Cupra Attica, but just 69 millimeters longer than the brand's Formentor SUV. And at the front, well, it is aggressive, isn't it? Supposedly epitomizing what the brand calls its rebellious and challenging spirit. Certainly a confident look, although you might think all this overtaking presence is a bit out of place on a car which will mainly be sold as a modest mild hybrid or PHEV. The cabin isn't as adventurous as that of the brand's slightly larger Tavascan, but it's certainly more interesting than its VW Group segment cousins. And it's more driver focused too, thanks to fairly low set supportive bucket seats, which have plenty of adjustment and which are classily upholstered in either sustainable sequel yarn, recycled textile Dynamica, or as here in deep burgundy leather. The cabin feels inviting. That's helped by the use of ambient lighting and Cupra's usual copper coloured accents, which feature all over the place, on the doors, on the vent controls, around the cup holders and on the switch gear. I hope you like copper because it's even on the steering wheel, which has the brand's usual Alpha-like circular buttons hanging off the upper spokes for starting and drive mode duties. For the inevitable cabin digitalisation, Cupra's raided the Wolfsburg parts bin for 2 screens, which get the Spanish brand's jaunty finishing treatment. The 10.25-inch digital cockpit display you view through this satisfyingly stitched wheel has a variety of viewing layouts: twin dials, no dials, or if you're in a Cupra mood, a single central rev counter. Everything else you'll need is on this 12.9-inch central monitor, which has a home screen which can display with either angled widget boxes or with rows of icons. Let's take a look in the back. Now, despite the sporty roofline, Cupra says headspace is generous, which turns out to be true, even if you spend extra on the panoramic glass roof. There's also a reasonable amount of legroom in the back for an SUV of this size, plus the bench slides and the backrest reclines too. Let's finish as usual with a look out back. On this conventionally engined model, the standard powered tailgate rises to reveal a space which will be anything between 540 and 642 litres, depending on the position of the rear bench. Choose the e-hybrid and those figures would range between 400 and 490 litres, and you'd have to do without this TSI variant's useful adjustable height floor. The next generation version of this car will be an EV, and this Mark I Terramar can function much like an EV for suburban duties in its e-hybrid PHEV platform. That's thanks to up to 74 miles of potential EV driving range, which falls to 71 miles with VZ2 spec. Hence the rather ridiculous sounding combined cycle figures quoted for both plug-in hybrid variants between 565 miles per gallon and 706.2 mpg. In reality, expect to get the sort of returns that you'd have previously had from a good VW diesel in this segment. More relevant is the e-hybrid's quoted 10 to 11 grams per kilometre CO2 emissions figure. The e-hybrid model's battery is DC fast charging compatible at up to 50 kilowatts, which allows a 10 to 80% charge in 26 minutes. It can be AC replenished at home using an 11 kilowatt wall box in 3 hours 40 minutes. That jumps to around 8 hours if you're using a more common single phase 7.4 kilowatt wall box. Obviously, the efficiency figures for the conventionally engined models are way different to those. The base 1.5 litre ETSI mild hybrid manages up to 46.3 mpg on the combined cycle and 139 grams per kilometre of CO2. For the 2 litre TSI 4-drive 204 PS model, it's up to 37.7 mpg and 172 grams per kilometre of CO2. And for this top 2 litre TSI 4-drive 265 PS variant, you're looking at up to 33.2 miles per gallon and bests of 191 grams per kilometre. In summary then, there is probably a place in the market for the Terramar, just not the place that a decade ago we thought a Cupra model like this would be.